Good morning. Welcome. We're going to wait a couple minutes for everybody to join in here. I'm really excited about today. I have with me a group called the Ascended that want to talk about the concept that love is not an emotional whim. Very interesting subject. We're going to get into that short. Good morning. Hello. Hi, Momo. Let's see what we got coming in here. Hi, Iris. Good to see you. Hello, Cece. Hello, Star. Yeah, it's a very important time. Before we get started, I also want to mention, hello, Amanda, that again, there's somebody out there has created a copy of my Facebook business page. They've just got a picture that's copied from my page and another picture. They've been reported to Facebook, but I've also gotten messages from students and other individuals that are friends that have said they've received solicitation from this individual for readings and stuff. I will not solicit you for a reading through any other medium than my website or when I'm doing these lives. I'll discuss booking a reading with me. So this individual will be asking you to get a reading with them. It's not me. If they try to ask you to give money for crypto or ask you for help or pretending to be me, it is not me. I am quite fine. Anybody tries to ask you for crypto or ask you to send money to them and pretending to be me, it's not me. I highly encourage you that if you have any questions or concerns, you go to my website and there's a chat feature there. If you're being harassed or disturbed by this person or persons, because I've had many people try to pretend they're being me with different profiles, I would encourage you to block that individual, report them to Facebook or report them to YouTube, whatever medium they come to you from, and block their profile so you're not harassed by them anymore. I will not send out emails to you unless I'm doing like an email blast from my website where I'm offering a special discounted rate on my readings for the Christmas season or something like that, but you'll know that it's me and you can verify that it's me, as I tend to answer all my messages to the best of my ability at this point in time. But yeah, keep your eyes open and ready for that, because there is an individual that is pretending to me that will try and solicit money and service from you. It is not me. There's somebody pretending to me. All my readings are done live. When you do a reading with me, there's not going to be some blank screen and a voice talking to you. We will see each other face to face in reading. I don't do readings behind anything because it's important that you be able to see and experience the person that's in front of you that's channeling information. So yeah, you will not have some mystical hidden being. You will see me during a reading. If you book a reading with me, we will meet face to face. I'll channel your guides and your angels directly to you through me, and that's the way that works. Now, again, I'm excited this morning. Hello, Daniela. Good to see you. Hello, Bazia. Hello, Bridget. Good to see you here. Hi, everybody on TikTok. So one of the things I told to do by my lovely Norma is to delay the message for a few minutes to give everybody a chance to come in here, because people can arrive and the message is already a third of the way or a quarter of the way done, and she says it's really important people hear the whole thing. And so we will be coming on live, but I'll wait a couple minutes, give everybody a chance to come in and join us. So please let your friends, let your family know that the format's changed to allow everybody a few minutes to come in, and we can begin after that point in time when there's people ready to actually experience this. Hello, Drusilla. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hi. How are we doing, Mama Eloise? Good to see you. Hello, Estrada. Yes. Now, let's get into this, because they've been, very shaking their head like, what's going on with people? There is, Elon Musk calls it the woke mind virus, and that's the term that he's given it. What the Ascended are calling it is being attached to emotional whims and disconnected from reason and intelligence. You must understand that the function of love is not an emotional whim. The function of love is driven by truth, knowledge, wisdom, reason, intelligence. Love is not an emotional whim. If you find individuals being very emotional about what is going on, this is an emotional whim. It is not a function of love. Love is very strong. It is very certain. It is very truthful. It is very reasonable. It is very tolerant, to a point where emotional whims fall flat in the face of true love. It's very important you understand this consideration, that love is not an emotional whim. Love is reason and truth. It is knowledge, wisdom. It is compassionate, but it is clear. It is purpose-driven. Love is not an emotional whim. And there's a significant range of your population that is still caught up in this realm of love as an emotional whim. And we can assure you that love in its true essence accomplishes great things, whereas the consciousness of an emotional whim is very weak and flaccid in its function and its effectiveness to solve problems and enhance communication between individuals. We have been speaking through this one for a number of years now, and the message has been consistent and repeated that you're at a time of choosing between the functions of love and fear. Love is not an emotional whim. An emotional whim is grounded and based in fear that something or someone will somehow take power, control, and authority over your life. Love does not do such things. Love empowers others. It strengthens others and oneself simultaneously. But love is also intolerant of ignorance. Love will not be tolerant of ignorance. Love is very reasonably structured in its understanding and comprehension of facts and truth, not emotional whims that are often contrived from acquired information that's gathered without investigation. And so as you move forward in your development of love, remember these aspects of love, that it is truthful, it is knowledgeable, it is wise, it is reasonable, it is patient, it is kind, and it is unwavering. Love is unwavering. Whereas fear and whimsical notions of love, for there are many of you that speak of love but will act in anger and rage and fear when your false love is challenged. Many of you, not so many of you here, but many of you in this human collective right now, are now, so to speak, blindsided by the reality of a functional love that you cannot understand or comprehend, because your perception of love is based on emotional whims and not on truth at all. And so you have this wonderful opportunity, as we are observing this function of love now beginning to sweep into your collective unconscious and be downloaded into the functions of individual human beings that will support, articulate, and be warriors of love. And warriors of love are not about war. Warriors of love are immaculate in their understanding of reason, knowledge, and the execution of that reason and knowledge in the practical applications of your day-to-day living. Whereas those who are on the realm of the whimsiness of love, the illusion of love, they will sit in basements, they will take no responsibility for their lives, they will blame others, they will demand and expect that someone or something should take care of them. And to a point, love will offer itself even to them, but only insofar as that love would inspire, empower, and encourage those individuals to give up the illusion of love and begin to live from the actuality of love. And the actuality of love is action-oriented. It is peace-oriented. It is innovative-oriented. It is creative-oriented. It is operating with integrity and truth. And so now the needle is moving from fear towards authentic love. But the journey has just begun. It is just beginning. The first glimmers of hope as these angelic beings that came into form begin to emerge into their function and begin to go about their duties in the guise of humanity, appearing much the same way as you appear to each other as humans. The angelic realm is with you, but it is not whimsical. It is very discerning and clear about the distinction between a function of love, a word of love, and an action of love. Whereas the illusory state of love that so many tend to hold on to, I love this and I love that and I love this. This is very whimsical. It is not authentic. And more often than not, it is the type of love that is waiting for someone to rescue the other. And you will be rescued. It is happening right now as the shift away from your grotesque systems of food production, as you move away from your grotesque systems of education, back to the functional apparatus of love as a mechanism that understands the functionality of honoring and cherishing the soil, the air, the earth, and the production of food. Additionally, the function of education becomes very important. What you learn, if it is from a place of authentic love, will be of very great value to you. If what you are learning is simply the emotional whimsiness of mystical possibilities rather than the practical applications of knowledge and truth that would bring about a mystical event, as love is a true function of divine mysticism. Whereas the illusory love that you see so many embraced in, crying and begging and pleading that you help them and assist them because they deserve to be taken care of rather than take responsibility for their lives. This love shall die like a fire with water being poured upon it, as you are seeing now. As the emergence of authentic love begins to enter your upper echelons of political functionality, you're going to see great change on your planet and in your species. If you're brave enough to surrender your illusions of love and consider truly what is the function of love. If you have to scream at another individual to prove that your point is correct, then that is not a function of love. That's a function of violence and aggression. Love is not violent, but it is not a pushover. And so it is very important you understand these distinctions of the function of love and the function of the illusion of love. You have a grand opportunity, every one of you, even those trapped in the illusion of helplessness, powerlessness, insignificance, trapped in those illusions because they are illusions. You can look out on the world and you can see there are very wealthy, successful, prosperous human beings that through their own thinking and reasoning and intelligence and action produced conditions that were favorable to that expression of love. Love is prosperous. Love is very prosperous, very innovative, very creative, very scientific, very curious. It does not cry and weep because one is not getting their food handed to them every single day on a platter. And these examples will come in greater numbers into your political spheres now, all around the world. And those of you that hold on to illusions, they will be stripped away from your perspective, of course. They will be stripped away very painfully, but in the end, your sense of joy and well-being will be so profound as you begin to recover the true nature of who you are as a spiritual being and not simply a constructed personality by an educational and health and socioeconomic system that debilitates some at the expense of a few. As you see those systems crumble under love's function, well then you'll be very grateful that you give up your suffering, your judgment, your anger, your rage. You give up your fear. The function of anger is not a demonstration of an absence of fear, quite the opposite. The function of anger is a demonstration of one who is possessed of fear, lost in it, hopelessly, helplessly. Do not perceive screaming and yelling as mechanisms of strength and power. They are mechanisms of fear, of powerlessness, of a lack of reason and fortitude and character. In these coming years, if you are patient and persistent enough and willing to give up your illusions, willing to give up the idea that doing a day's work is uncomfortable and inconvenient, you are moving towards a society that will be capable of allowing every individual to pursue their love in expression. And it's going to require that all of you agree on the rational function of love, not on the dogmatic interpretations of what one believes is love. Love is very clear and distinct. Love is a function of life at its essence. It is the very essence of life. In action. The tree that sprouts from the ground is a manifestation of love. The chick that comes out from the egg is a manifestation of love. And you, when you came into this earth, were a manifestation of love. And the corruption of the few upon this planet at the expense of the many have misled you away from that true nature that is yours. And now you have the opportunity to return to that. These leaders that are now emerging on your global scene will demonstrate what love's function is. They will not speak about it. They will do it. They will write into your rules and laws functions of action driven by love, law, economics, social constructs based on a principle of love and life, and not on fear and need. Your significance will not come through being angry or judgmental, nor will you find yourself getting stronger or more vital through self-pity or self-deprecation. Love does not do that. Fear does that. And for these last particularly 70 years on your planet, you have been fed poisons. You've been fed illusions and lies. You've been conditioned to believe that you need something outside of yourself to elevate yourself to a better stature in life. But the very thing you need to do that with is within you. To actualize your function of being, to demonstrate the function of your greatest passion. Whether it's art or dance or science or architecture, whatever your divine expression is, you will have the opportunity, if you choose to allow the continued emergence of those that know how to lead the way from love's presence and consciousness. And they will not talk to you about this is love and this is fear. They will not say these things to you in the political sphere. They will do these things. They will put laws and rules and structures in place that are based in life and love's rule. So surrender your fear. Open your mind. Surrender your so-called debilitating anxieties and fears, which are not the definition of who you are, but the definitions that you were given to accept about yourself, that you needed a government to take care of you, that you needed someone to do your life for you. Well, that time is over. And not all of you will be able to navigate back to love. Some of you will struggle longer than others. But the persistent and consistent of love being demonstrated in your political, socioeconomic systems of life will surely demonstrate to you that there is a love. As many of you are compromised physically, emotionally, and psychologically by the onslaught of erroneous and destructive information, values, and beliefs, foods and substances adorning your body, and for the sake of profit, you've seen your civilization fall to where it has fallen. And this is not to say that profit is not a good thing. This is simply to say that the way in which one acquires a profit can be done through functions of love or functions of fear. And that profit at the expense of the many to the benefit of a few is a function of fear, not of love. Love is extremely abundant. Look around in nature. You will see that nature in and of itself is quite abundant when it is not interfered with by the ignorant that would choose to destroy and harm it without regard. But nature and the function of love is extremely abundant. And when you access and begin to articulate your function of love, you will become abundant too if you are persistent in that function. But we are very excited for all of you because you're at this wonderful place now. The threshold, at least. Remember, this is but the threshold. It is but the threshold. You have not walked through the door yet. You've merely stepped on the threshold and swung the door open. Now you have the choice to walk through or remain on the other side of that doorway. There's the doorway and the threshold. There is fear on one side, there is love on the other. And again, love is not a whimsical thing. It is based very strongly in reason, patience, and compassion, and kindness, and hard work. Labor well that you might prosper. You are in a very good time, at least the threshold of a very good time. It is good, even for those that think it is bad. And there are many of you that think that what is happening in your geopolitical scene is bad, but it is happening quicker and quicker. Faster than you ever imagined. You will watch the darkness and the evil propagated by many years of gluttony and greed, manipulation, control, and power be scattered like the dust in the wind. As mighty individuals, certain of their vision for humanity, step forth and stand strong and act and lead the way for all of you. That will set examples about what it is to be the best that you can be in your own consciousness, in your own body, in your own world. It is a beautiful time. Thank you. So yeah, this is very, very interesting. And watching this unfold, again, we are at this time. It's love. I want to reiterate the name of the live event today. Love is not an emotional whim. And when they first said that to me this morning, and they gave me the comparison, the distinction between the love of so-called movements of love and peace and brotherly love, and the definitions of that, they said it was very clear that love is not a whimsical state. Love is a powerful, strong, certain, action-oriented, reason-based function. Now, I'm paraphrasing now, but I hope you get the general gist of it. And yes, so there are going to be these massive changes that they're talking about that are happening right now. And you're going to watch how the sun reacts and responds, because the sun interacts and responds to our collective unconsciousness. And one of the things that Norma mentioned to me the other day, and it was quite simple and very profound. She said, even the people that were against this massive shift in the political landscape of the United States, even that shift, the people that were against Trump winning the election and this change happening, both those that wanted him to win and those that didn't want him to win, she said, irrespective of their diametrically opposite viewpoints, she said, you have to understand that they both wanted what was right. And she said that created a consensus. She said that whether you were left or right, it didn't matter. Everybody wanted what was right. And that consensus of consciousness produced the result you now see unfolding before you. I thought, wow, Norma, that's really brilliant. And it was. So even those people, the ones you call woke, the blue-haired people, even those people in their desire for what was right, for their rights and their well-being, were still desiring what was right. And so were everybody on the so-called opposite side. But there was a collaboration that was happening underneath all that, the collaboration of everybody wanting what was right. So the outcome of this collective interaction, irrespective of the way either side was articulating itself, the desire was for what was right. And that is what we're going to see unfolding on a global scale now. Because collectively, rich or poor, woke or awake, spiritual or drunkard, everyone wants what is right. When she said that, it was like, that just resonated so strong with my heart. Anyway, it's a beautiful time to be alive. I'm really grateful that I get to bear witness for the next couple of decades what's going to unfold for all of us. And they keep telling me the same thing. Love will become the dominant driving force for humanity. Because if it doesn't, they said, there would be a very significant and very unpleasant change that would happen energetically. Once you understand that there's a correlation between your body, the environment around you, electromagnetically, and that 8 billion human beings generate a collective field that emanates and radiates out in concentric spheres from this planet. And that human emotional content, our wishes, our hopes, our desires, our collective content exerts an energetic influence on the earth, on the sun, on the other planets as they do on us. As you watch now, as humanity shifts more towards love, the sun will become more active, but it will not pose a threat to the earth in the way it has in certain other civilizations over the last 72,000 years. The love that's emerging now is probably one of the most authentic since Atlantis. And you're going to observe that the sun will be more active. If we were continue to shift towards fear, manipulation, power, and control, then the sun would get more active, and it would have a very different effect than the function of love. And again, this is something that my guides and angels have told me. I'm sure there's going to be, they tell me there's going to be a scientific validation of everything that they've said through me coming in the next couple of years, where science will be able to perceive different frequencies in the electromagnetic spectrum that humans generate. Like they'll be able to perceive and tap into the frequency of thought, the frequency of emotion, and they'll be able to observe in real time how energetic particles emanated from our bodies and received by our bodies interact with each other. They're already doing this to a smaller degree now, they say, but no, they'll be able to actually perceive how our thought goes out, the nature and quality of thought. Technology is going to really start to reveal a lot of things into the hidden realms of our spiritual nature that's been held back until we got out of fear. Hi there. Question from Benjamin. Hi, Benjamin. Welcome. A ton of people in the spiritual community using tarot, channeling, and other methods claimed Harris would win. When Trump won, they started saying how tragic things would be. What's the deal? Again, mediumship is a real science. Benjamin, I'm so grateful you asked this question. Mediumship is a real function. Most of the mediums that are out there now come from ego. They come from wanting to be special or more important than other people, or wanting to be right. And that's not what mediumship's about. Mediumship's about a function of information that's not colored, or at least less colored, with your own personal needs, wants, and desires. You allow information to flow through without filtering it or coloring it with your personal biases. And I'll be the first one to say that even I find myself tempted to include personal biases. But mediumship is a real thing. Everybody can do it. Everybody can learn that function. But to answer your question directly, what they told me when I asked that question, they said, those that are in fear cannot be validated through love. Those that are in fear cannot be validated through love because they live in fear. So all these ones, even Bashar, right? The mighty Bashar, who talked about World War III and death and destruction. All of these people that you're referring to, Benjamin, and I got great compassion for them because they've been misled and miseducated and misinformed by a system of socioeconomics that poisoned food, poisoned air, poisoned water, drugged people, medicated them, didn't teach people the truth of who they are. We had a system for the last 80 years that was based in control, authority, and power, and not the liberation and development of the human soul. And all of these people fell into the persuasiveness of that bullshit, if I may use that term. They did. They fell into the persuasiveness. You need to have compassion for them because they've been conditioned, programmed, poisoned into a mental state that does not accurately reflect who they truly are. And you're going to start watching things like when these massive changes start to come to the health industry, it'll actually become a health industry instead of a disease industry. When you see this massive shift in farming and food production, it's going to happen. It's a real thing. It's going to begin to unfold now. They told us this for years. The function of love, when it assumes a throne, does things very differently. So as better food, better air, better water start to become available, a lot of these people that are woke will start to biologically and chemically be restructured. When you consider something like BPA put in plastics for 60 years, they added a chemical, BPA, which is estrogen mimicking chemical. And all of a sudden we have this explosion in men being feminine and women being masculine. Is because the chemical toxicity of these substances has influenced the functionality of behavior. At the level of DNA, it's happened. So have compassion for these people, Benjamin. They've been poisoned and drugged and manipulated socially, economically, spiritually, mentally, by very low vibrational beings that simply want to keep all the marbles to themselves. You're going to find a lot of change. So have compassion for those people that are crying tears because they've been led into a state of helplessness and ignorance. You ask anybody about their reasoning for saying some of the things they say about people, most of them will just get really angry at you because they don't have a line of reasoning. They are being conditioned by mass media communications to be emotional and not reasonable. And understand, the ones that have had power and control for the last 100 years on this planet have understood very well that keeping people in an emotional state disconnects them from their spiritual consciousness. I'll repeat that because it's really important to hear that. Being trapped in an emotional state disconnects you from your spiritual consciousness. Doesn't remove it from you, it just disconnects you from being aware of it. And so our education system needs to go through a radical change where they start teaching children to meditate, to control their bodies. I mean, simple things like teaching children to exercise in schools, teaching children to think and reason, not to dance around and parade around in costumes and stuff, but to really teach children that they can change their thoughts, they can change their mind, that they can evaluate and examine information. That has not happened in education. When Rockefeller created education, he created a system. He said, I want to create workers. He said that himself. I want to create a system where I can train people to build the things I want them to build and do the things I want them to do. You didn't create free thinkers. Fortunately, we do have lots of free thinkers that didn't get roped into that educational system. Please have compassion for the lefties, so to speak, because they've been conditioned, poisoned, drugged, programmed to believe that suffering is a natural phenomenon. You just have to accept it, right? And it's not their fault. They were conditioned that way. Just like 90%, even intelligent people during the pandemic, intelligent people who had been watching Contagion and Omega Man and Virus and all these movies, World War Z, Walking Dead, that condition people to their, unbeknownst to them, condition people that if a virus happens, this is what you got to do. And so people were already preconditioned so that when the idea of a pandemic was announced, even good thinking, reasonable people got roped into the fear and terror that they had been conditioned to by some of their favorite shows that were designed to do nothing more nor less than keep people entranced in fear. Because people that are in fear cannot think or reason. They can only react. So please have patience and understanding for these people. They've been conditioned and manipulated into the state that they're currently in. And again, biological behaviors, misconceptions about sexual identity, many of these things were chemically induced by foods and toxins that were introduced to the human food chain by pharmaceutical companies, food production companies, great corporate conglomerates. You got a guy like Bob Kennedy who's going to go and change all that, right? It's an amazing thing that someone's going to say, let's overhaul this. We're doing this the wrong way. God bless that man. God bless every human being, because even the ones that are suffering are going to be elevated up. They are, right? They keep telling me that again. Don't worry about that. Just keep sending them love. Great question, Benjamin. Hi there. So do we need to be concerned about how the shots affected our bodies? I ended up taking the shot. Okay, for those of you that did take the shot, listen, all is not lost. Although it's an mRNA technology, you are a soul. If you can learn to develop your consciousness sufficiently enough, you can induce changes even at the genetic level of your own bodies. If you gain sufficient training, you can alter and modify your own genetic systems. That must be coupled with an understanding that there are certain substances that you need to bring into your body that will augment that conscious creative process. There are things you can take that will give the body the resources to correct this. But every single soul on this planet, rich or poor, asleep or awake, every one of you has it within you to affect and influence your own DNA, to enhance and improve the healing process in your body that can be modified, certainly with modern scientific technology, which you're going to begin to see this also, that there are technological advances that are going to now be made available to you that will begin to enhance and improve the function of your DNA for those of you that do not have the experience and knowledge at this time to make these corrections, but there will be corrections made. Do not fear. Be in gratitude for your body. The function of gratitude towards every molecule of your body. Please understand that when you are in a deliberate function of gratitude, every molecule in your body will react and respond. And if you can sustain that energy of gratitude, it will create a cohesive outcome in the collective functioning of your body. That is, the very nature of gratitude will establish a different frequency of the body, which will indeed change even the genetics of your body, as the genetic systems of your body are made up of subatomic particles that are the first to be activated and influenced by your consciousness. You may say to the body, release that from this system which does not serve me. But again, you must learn to develop and learn how to sustain a function of concentration until the body does indeed react and respond. As a little child, you did not know how to a little baby, you did not know how to open and close your hands. You, through the process of observing what was being presented to you, learned to articulate and direct the consciousness of the hand to begin to move and articulate in specific ways. So too does the subatomic systems of your body, by your own will, in your own consciousness, can be trained to function for you in the same fashion. That is a very good question you asked. It is a very good question. And so you begin to understand that, yes, even though you have been poisoned and harmed and conditioned and programmed to be unlike what you naturally are, you still have it within you, that source of life and light within you, that you can awaken your own light again, begin to learn to take authority over your thinking and remembering mind, to begin to purge your mind of fear and guilt and shame that has been programmed into you by your so-called systems of entertainment. You may, by this awareness, begin the process of correcting what was made incorrect in your mind by your simple allowance of information to simply be poured into your mind without evaluation. Sitting before any system of information, even here now, you are receiving vibrations and information that will be induced as an effect in your consciousness. This is why you are here. It is why you are engaged in anything you listen to. If it's pleasing to you or sensationalizes you, gives you a certain feeling, you may be attracted to it. Many of the shows that you were watching that seemed exciting and adventurous were subjectively seeding your mind with fear and doubt and terror. And yet, with all of the harm that has been done to humanity collectively, love is arising again. And each and every one of you, no matter how your position in life is, whether you are sitting in a basement, you can begin the process of re-articulating your mind and body to be of service to you, rather than feeling like you are some form of victim to your own mind and body. You are not a victim to your mind and body. You are a victim to those that conditioned your mind and body, and you allowed that. You allowed that. And now you must take responsibility and say, these thoughts, these ideas, these beliefs do not give me strength. It's the ideas and beliefs that give you strength that you must hold to. And strength is not about yelling and screaming and beating your chest and screaming at others. That is not strength. That is madness. But yes, you may undo the effects of anything if you have the proper knowledge and understanding and are able to apply it effectively. There's nothing you cannot learn to accomplish when you accomplish that with proper knowledge. When you understand the function of your awareness in relationship to your mind and body, we instruct many individuals in how to awaken themselves again, how to begin to take authority over your thinking mind, your emotional energy, and your systems of memory that may often need to change from a fear function to a love function. But these are skills that you must learn to develop. But yes, you may, dear, of course, make correction. Meditation is a very powerful tool that we instruct many in that function and the simplicity of that practice. There are deeper levels of complexity to it that can allow you to accomplish what to the average human being would be considered a miracle, but even be able to make yourself release your anger or fear can be a wonderful miracle for you. For those either living in fear and guilt and shame, to be able to release your fear and guilt and shame and to experience the freedom that comes when you're able to liberate yourself from that is quite profound and simple. So do not despair. You are in a very beautiful position, each and every one of you, no matter what you believe about yourself or what you've been taught to believe about yourself. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How can I heal my asthma, my allergies? That's, again, a lot of people are in physically diseased states because your body has been given physical substances that induce disease in your body. Many of the foods and drinks that most of humans consume are very toxic and detrimental to your body. And without a conscious awareness of what you're putting in your body, it will become compromised. With the condition of asthma, you may first begin If you're willing to explore this, if you're willing to take this and be diligent and focused about it, the next time you have a so-called asthma attack, take your hands. If you feel this asthma right now, take your hands and place them over your lungs. Place them over your lungs. You may do it this way or this way, whichever you prefer, but place them over your lungs. As you feel the discomfort in your lungs, you think, because your thought is energetic electrical particles that go through the nervous system. And so you think then to the lungs, as you feel their discomfort, you think to them, I love you. I will take care of you. I will honor you. I will not ignore you. And you are very diligent and persistent and sincere about articulating that structure of thought, because that structure of thought is very particular in the way it organizes electrical particles in your body. And so you might be very afraid, and when you feel that fear, because of course you will feel the breathing restricted and it might get worse. Even if it gets worse, you say to it, no matter how you are, I love you anyway. You stay strong in the articulation of your love. You embrace the fear and say, no matter how afraid you are, I will not abandon you. I will love you. I will take care of you. You articulate qualities of thought and idea that will restructure the communication between the brain and the body, so the body then begins to get from you, via the mechanism of thought, you begin to use the mechanism of thought to induce a new vibrational frequency in your body. For some of you that are dealing with such things, the degree and intensity of the condition will vary. But if you can increase the degree and intensity of your love and your compassion, you will experience amelioration. You can do this right now. You can turn to your lungs right now and say, I love you and thank you for all that you do for me. Communicate the function you want your lungs to have. Thank you for all you do for me, even if I do not understand you. We have a very versatile language that allows us to articulate these ideas to you, but you must be able to adopt and absorb these ideas and then apply them so that you gain the functional experience from your own body. Because until you have a functional reaction from your own body, then what we say to you is meaningless. But when you gain a functional experience of your body reacting and responding to your thought, that I am so grateful for these lungs. I love how they breathe. They are so strong, and you are very certain and strong on the energy of that being, then the energetic signals from the brain will induce a functional change in the lungs. Just as you can induce a functional change in the arm to go and pick up a substance such as water to drink it, you induce the arm into the action, you can induce the lungs into the breath. But it is also important that you release from what you place in your body. You must release the things in your body that contribute to this. There are many things that you have that contribute to this. Some of you have acquired your dis-ease. Doctors will tell you you've inherited it. They will say to you, you've inherited it. Even if you have inherited it, the disease will still shift according to the consciousness that governs it. So even hereditary disease can be altered and changed with your consciousness and a proper application of substances that will be beneficial in elevating the frequency of your body. There are substances you can consume that will elevate the frequency of your body to a more favorable state. Another wonderful question, indeed. So I do want to address this statement about mediumship and Bashar and all these other beings that were prophesizing Trump to him. They've told me don't prophesize. I don't prophesize. I get information, I transmit it. Prophecy is meant for those who are very adept at mediumship, those that truly can touch the heart of the divine and hear its voice without their own prejudices and wants and desires interfering with it. Mediumship is a process of learning where you let go of your own personal preferences and you become willing to open up to the truth. Be willing to articulate that truth. And there's a process to becoming a medium. But everybody's got that skill set. Everybody can commune with God. Everyone can communicate with Jesus. Anybody can communicate with their Buddhas, with their yogis, even the ones that are not. You can communicate with other deities that have existed on this planet. Many of the Hindu gods actually existed in real physical time. They still honor them today. So you have this capacity, everyone does, to develop and access these channels of information. But if you're accessing these channels of information and you're bringing it through your own personal wants, desires, and needs, then you're going to bastardize that information. You're going to mess it up, and you're going to start saying things that are wrong and untrue. Mediumship is not about being right. It's about being in integrity with love and being in integrity with the truth. And the latter is more important than the former. That mediumship is more about being in integrity with the truth. That is, you're able to allow information, even information you might not like, to come through because it's true. But that was a great question about asthma. That was a great question about mediumship. They just told me to do that again. All vaccines that are given to babies and children, are these wrong? Again, I'm going to answer that from the perspective of I'm not a medical professional, but I have been told repeatedly it is wrong to assert that your will is greater than the divine that exists within any organism. When you think that your will is greater than God's, you're making a mistake. And unfortunately, science in the last 60 years has played God. And now the pharmaceutical industry is trying to be God for profit. So I've been told, yes, it is wrong to vaccinate babies. Because if the physical, mental, and emotional constitution of an individual is based on the understanding and function of love, love's ways, love's truths, love's action, if you begin to understand the function of lifetimes, of reincarnation, then the function of disease will take a very different level of perception for you. If you understand that the function of previous lives actually is a real thing. You have lived other lives, and you can bring forward into each life the effects of other causes. But that is another journey. But anytime you need to put a substance in the body that is artificial to it, you're trying to play God. Yet, even Jesus said, if you have faith or belief like the grain of mustard seed, nothing's impossible to you. So when you get into a state of love and grace, and you get into alignment with that love and that grace, there are certain eventualities that will happen. Love has precise eventualities of what it will do in your life. Fear has very precise eventualities about what it will do in your life. And love and fear are very different frequencies of vibration, and they constitute different thoughts and different actions, different words. And you can learn very clearly what is of love, what is fear. I cannot tell you how many people I know that were vaccine injured. I know a lot of people lost relatives. Very difficult. God is my immune system. That's a really powerful thought, eh? God is my immune system. Right? But my heart goes out to everybody, all of you, whether you're vaccinated or not. We are at a wonderful time, and even in your suffering, you have an opportunity to awaken your divinity. You have an opportunity to transcend all of your suffering. You don't have to wait for a pill to change how you feel anymore. You can do it with your own will. You can learn to wake your will up and change the thinking apparatus of your mind that's been conditioned by the world around you. Conventional education, even at the university level, is extremely limited. And there are a few exceptions that actually gain great benefit from university training. And that's not to say that the educational system is something we don't need. The educational system is something that we need, provided that is based in the fundamentals of love, truth, wisdom, and scientific practices. That is the rule of science, and evaluating and reasoning and weighing and measuring. Again, I'm paraphrasing what they said earlier, that love is based in sound reason, it's based in truth, it's based in compassion, it's based in logic. Fear is based in emotion. Really simple. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Susie. Listen, it doesn't matter what side of the fence. There's only one side. There's the human side, but that human side must begin to become love-centered now. And with the seed's been planted, it's sprouting. And if whether you believe in, whether you're in an emotional state, you can't control how you feel, please don't lie to yourself. You just haven't been taught how to do that. You've been taught how to be emotional. And somebody's got to validate how I feel. No. Even in that state of despair, and I've been in that state of despair, believing that I'm not important, nobody loves me, my feet are cold. I've been there, done that. And I can assure you with absolute certainty that anyone taking certain practical steps in learning how to use your thinking apparatus, how to change what you do with your body, that you can shift your awareness out of helplessness into empowerment. And it does not have to be a long 10-year therapeutic process. It can happen in weeks, in a few months, even in as little as a year. Once you understand the simple process of how your mind works and who you are. Because you're not your mind and you're not your body. You have a mind, you have a body. You know, I'm honored and privileged that I get to be a medium for these multidimensional beings that are here to help us restore humanity to love. And everything they've said over the last 5 years, I've been watching come to pass. I've been watching it come to pass. Everything. They said 2 years ago, they said all the darkness is going to collapse. And we're watching it now collapse. So I have... When you have somebody who knows more than you, you listen to them. If you want somebody to teach you about building rockets, you don't go to a mechanic in a garage. You go to an Elon Musk or a rocket scientist. You want to know something about health and well-being and what's right for your body, you go to somebody who understands nutrition and good food. There are certain fundamental things I've learned from these beings, and I'm truly grateful because my life was not all sunshine and lollipops. And my life's never been about money or power or control. It's simply been to get to where I am right now, where I can listen to these beings and hear them and transmit to the best of my ability the knowledge, wisdom, and information that flows freely through me as it does flow freely to you. You just have to learn how to listen, how to allow, and then act upon it. Very exciting. Strengthen your mind with meditation and strengthen your body with real medicine, real food, and pure water. Thank you, William. You're very welcome, Rose, and it's so true. Any guidance for me today, please? Hello, Jacqueline. Yes, remember, your emotion will organize your affairs. Your emotion will organize the quality of your body. Even if you're eating good food, if you're emotionally compromised, you're in a negative emotional state, consciously or unconsciously, your body will be governed by your dominant emotional energy. And right now the sun is bombarding us with the energies that will elevate whatever emotional state we hold. If you're in a state of fear, that's being amplified. If you're in a state of love and grace, that will be amplified. So really important, Jacqueline, to really, love is also really strong too. Like, you have to become strong. You have to become strong in what love needs to say or do. If you let fear govern your actions, then you will be experiencing the product of that fear. If you let your reason and your love and your strength and your power govern your actions, like, don't have tolerance for ignorance, for example. Don't tolerate ignorance. Don't tolerate those things. But don't be angry or aggressive about it either. Simply speak the truth. And you need to speak your truth. You need to speak your truth. Stop being afraid of your truth. That's what they're telling me to tell you. Stop being afraid of your truth. Hi there. Thank you so much. Hi, guys. Someone saying, I'm healing at an accelerated rate due to my gratitude. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you. So glad to hear that. Hi. Thank you for following. Remember to share this live out to other people. Encourage your friends, your family. Share other people. Share it with other people. Share this. Get it out there. Hi. Thank you for the hearts and the love. I really appreciate it. We're up to 12,000 hearts, and I'm emphasizing that not because I'm so grateful I got 12,000. No. I'm saying 12,000 hearts because every time you touch that screen, you tell the algorithm something. And it's like a computer. You tell it something, it does something. So you give other people, by your contribution, whatever way that is, you tell the algorithms on whatever platform you're on that, in fact, this is something that's beneficial. People like it. And then it'll put it out to more people that might be on the periphery of this. And then they'll come and they'll check it out. And they'll learn something new. There's always something new here. One can attain, Susie saying, one can attain perfect stage of liberation from death and birth simply by knowing the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there is no other way to achieve this perfection. Yes, every single great master has said that same thing. And the Godhead, in truth, is what you are when you learn to distinguish yourself from the contents of your mind and body, when you don't no longer see yourself as just a mind with memories and thoughts and emotions and a body, but you begin to awaken to who you are. And then you can restructure your mind and make your mind and body in the image of who you really are, which is a function of love. Again, we have a set of master classes that the Ascended Masters gave us to teach. And they channeled through me and they channeled through our other mediums. And we include a nutritional component. In that program, you will learn simple, easy to follow steps and practices that they will give you in person. They will give you practice in person that will help you shift your mind, your emotions, and awaken your soul to the nature of who you really are. Because you did not come to this world to suffer. You came to this world to create, right? That's what you came here for. Amanda, thank you for that super chat. Hi, William. Why are people from my past in my dreams the last few nights? I wake up and return with love and grace what's theirs as well as what's mine. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's it. When you realize that you're getting to the nitty gritty of your mind, you're working on the deeper layers of your past mind. Because some of those friends, there were emotional events and circumstances that happened with them. And now you're going to the deeper layers of your mind, especially when you're remembering while you're in your dream and you're bringing it back to this realm and you're changing it. Because a lot of people have dreams and they forget their dreams, so they don't make changes. The information stays the same. Congratulations, Amanda. Because you're now getting into these deeper layers of your past that you can now correct, and you're letting go of whatever emotional attachments that are still connected to those experiences from those times in your life, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to lose connection. If anything else, if the connection is shifted enough, you might actually reconnect them at a higher state. But that's another story. Congratulations, you're working on those deeper layers. Wonderful. Good for you. My mom's cousin got vaccinated, then caught COVID and passed. I'm sorry about that, Benjamin. Again, the body is not who you are, and you can tell them you can connect to people that leave the body. You can connect to people that leave the physical body. You can. There's a way to do that. But a lot of people, for the sake of profit, okay, were damaged and hurt by this. And this is what brought forth, in part, the resurrection of love on this planet. Because those that suffered called to the divine, said, help. Well, help has arrived, everybody. Help has arrived. Right? Just wait until, a lot of people don't know that Jesus and many of the other ascended masters have already reincarnated. They're in the world right now. They don't have the same names or the same bodies. You won't recognize them when you see them, but you'll recognize them if you pay close attention to what they're saying. You'll know they're of God. You'll know these ascended masters are incarnating because it's been called for. It's been called for. Yes. Yes, that's correct. No worries, Drusilla. You can come and go as you need to. Hi there. I've got this little TikTok slider thing to do here. Wonderful. Hi there. You're very welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing the live. Hi, guys. Welcome. What substances? I'm not sure what that context of the question. Just so you're aware, when they speak through me, I allow information to flow. I try not to edit it. I do not sit there and try to memorize everything that comes through my body. That's not what proper mediumship is, in my opinion. That you learn to allow information to flow through. And I sometimes hear things and I think, that's out there, that's a little strange, but I don't interfere with my personal prejudices and beliefs and emotional nuances. I allow the information to flow. So yeah, it comes that way. Do you think that polyamory is going to be more common as we move into the frequency of love? Again, there's been, thank you for that question, by the way, Polly. Really, Polly, Gemini. This is a great question. So around the realm of sexuality and sensuality, a lot of what has happened in the last 150 years, okay, has been, well, more like the last 2,000 years, but it's become really amplified in the last 60 years, like since the 60s, the love and peace movement, where humanity, many people were misdirected towards sensuality rather than spirituality. People were directed into, oh, I want this to feel so good. And so the function of sensations of the body have taken priority over what is good, sound, intelligent reasoning. Now, I'm not going to judge polyamorous functionality or people's sexual preferences, but I'm going to say this: when your function in this world is geared exclusively by sensation, then you are bound and will be stuck in the construct of the body as being the mechanism from which you feel good. So you'll need alcohol, or you need drugs, you need sex, you need something to feel good. But it will fall apart. Most of these so-called polyamorous relationships and many of these relationships that are based on a platform of physical sensuality are often fall by the wayside. Any relationship that's based exclusively on sexual or sensual attraction usually falls by the wayside because it's not based in love, it's based in sensation. The body is not who you are. The body is an instinctual animal. It's what it is. It's not who you are. You live in it, you operate it, but it has its own compulsions, and the body's perception of experience is based on the pleasure of the senses. If it feels good, the body likes it. If it doesn't feel good, the body doesn't like it. But most people have gotten lost in the sensations of the body at the expense of your spiritual awareness, at the expense of your soul. The statement, what does it profit a person to gain the whole world and lose their own soul, is based on that understanding that if you get caught up in sensuality, you disconnect from your spirituality, you become an animal. You're now the body as the body. So when I ask them about that, they're saying, no, humanity will shift from the function of sensuality to the function of creation. Conscious, intelligent, purposeful creation is where the movement in your consciousness will go when you extract yourself from subjectivity to your senses. You will then begin to apply yourself in a meaningful, creative way to affect the world and the people in it in a way that is beneficent and based in your function of what you are as a spiritual entity and not what you are as a biology. Your biology is very restricted to its functions, and only you can transcend those restrictions as an act of your will. Equally so, the information in your mind, the beliefs and ideas you have, can keep you subjugated to them, but they are not who you are either. The information in your mind is there for the function of creation, just as your body is useful as a function for creating more bodies, giving other individuals the opportunity to come through the porthole of man and woman, to come into this world to experience the function of being in a physical world, the function of learning the act of creation as not being something that is done through the function of sensuality, but the function of contributing to the well-being of this world and others. You'll understand more as this propagation of new thought, idea from the frequency of love begins to be disseminated into your consciousness on this planet in the coming months and years. It is a juggernaut, far more powerful than any limited desire of your flesh. And you are far more powerful than any limited desire of your flesh. You are, but many of you have forgotten. But you'll be given the opportunity to remember. You're very welcome. Amanda, thank you again, William. Your classes and your readings have changed my life. Anyone thinking of taking a class or reading, your life will change. Thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you so kindly. See, a lot of people confuse pleasure of the senses with love, and that's bullshit. I have to clarify that. A lot of people think, oh, you make me feel so good. Sensation is not love, it's sensation. And sensation is important in that it can bring people together, but it's not meant to be the foundation of a relationship. A foundation of a relationship should be based in values and purpose. What is your purpose here? You're welcome. Hi, guys. Thank you for the badges. Thank you so much. Yes, it pushed your, thank you so much. All those hearts, all the gifts, all those things, again, it's not about the gifts. It's about what they affect. You know, I think we're at what, 12,000 hearts now? We're at like 16,000. It's not about the hearts or the numbers. It's literally about you affecting an algorithm that might give somebody the opportunity to hear some of the information that you guys get to hear Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. That's what you're doing. You're giving others the opportunity. Right? That's what you're doing. Remember that. Hi. Hi, thank you so much. Nice to meet you too. Hi. Can you explain why I have some ringing in my ears? It's like frequency sound. Yes. Now, medical science has a term, they call it tinnitus. That's not what you're experiencing. A lot of people are getting that ringing in their ears, and there's several layers to that. The first layer to that is we are receiving frequencies of energy from the sun that science can't measure. Science is able to measure cosmic radiation, gamma rays, infrared light, X-rays. There's many frequencies that science can measure, but there are frequencies of energy coming to us from the sun, which orchestrates, transforms, and transmutes life on this planet, and has done so for many billions of years. The function of the sun alters and affects the structure of DNA on this planet. So you're picking up on that frequency on one level. On another level, there are these signals, man-made signals, that are going out and interacting with time, space, and matter as well. But don't be disturbed by it. One of the things you can do right now, close your eyes and let your awareness connect to the sun. Just close your eyes and let your awareness just connect to the sun. And just feel as if your body and the sun are connected. Just go into that. And notice what happens to the ringing in your ears when you do that. And then leave a comment about that, okay? That's what they're telling me to tell you to do. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for answering this. I love I love someone but found out they are poly. I didn't know how. You're very welcome. Again, a lot of people in confuse love with sensuality. Love can be expressed as sensuality, but the vast majority of people are experiencing sensuality as love. And that's not correct. And a lot of marriages, a lot of people get married on the basis of sensuality. Very few people evaluate the values of the people they're getting to know. My beautiful partner now, I spent a year just getting to know her, and she did the same. We just got to know each other's values before we took the leap. Getting to know people, what their values are, what their beliefs are, is very important. But I'm happy for you, because that distinction between sensation and values is very important for choosing a relationship. All right. You're very welcome. Thank you too. Hi guys. I'm very interested in learning tarot. Do you have any books you would recommend? In our master classes, at least in our master class 101, Awakening, and our master class 102, Liberation, and in our master class 103, we introduce you to using cards, but not as a divination tool, but as a mechanism for awakening or activating your internal senses. Cards, rods, crystals, whether it's tarot cards or oracle cards, rods, crystals, pendulums, all of those things in and of themselves have no power. This is what they've taught us to teach people, that they are teaching devices to entrain the individual in accessing and activating dormant perceptual senses that we call clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. In our master class, we use these devices, some of them anyway, as tools for you to activate your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, and your claircognizance. That's what they're for. Excuse me. So that is what tarot cards, any form of cards, any divination tool, is just a tool for you to reanimate or reactivate clairvoyance, which means to see clearly, clairaudience. Some call clairvoyance intuition or gut feeling. There's different terms for these invisible senses that you have, but you possess them. They're faculties of your soul. Just like your 5 physical senses are faculties for your body, these other faculties of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance are faculties of your soul. The physical senses let you perceive the material world. The invisible senses allow you to perceive the invisible world, where you can communicate to guides, angels, gods, deities, other beings. Through those senses, you get access to the realms of invisible information. Your 5 physical senses let you perceive the physical reality. But those clairvoyance and clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience can also allow you to tune into things that can happen in this time space as well. But yeah. So the vast majority of mediums on this world are not very effective, but there are some really effective ones. I shall tell my neighbor about that. Please do. Hi. Thank you so much. You do a masterclass. Where do I find out more on that? Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. You're in time if you want to sign up for Masterclass 102 Liberation. My website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can check out our services, and under courses, you'll get a full list of our 4 masterclasses that they've given us to teach. And they teach through me in these masterclasses as they do with our other mediums. The Masterclass 102 is called Liberation because it's designed to give you a process whereby you can learn to affect and change emotional energy you've got stuck in your body. So if you had a trauma from being abused as a child, or you went through a breakup in a relationship, or you were PTSD from severe physical trauma. Those experiences are stored as emotions in your body. It's why dysfunction can stay in the body, because the emotion has not been released. In Qigong, they use things like needles and acupuncture to release the stuck energy. But in our Masterclass 102, you'll learn how to identify and access where in your body certain emotions live and how to liberate them from your body, how to release old emotions. And it's one of our most favorite programs. We have many of our repeat students come back to that. Many new students come to that. Everybody says the same thing. You go through a huge transformation because you're going to learn how to meditate. You're going to get a more detailed, in-depth look at holistic nutrition. You're going to get a closer look at how to evaluate, alter, and change your mind as an act of your own free will. You're going to just those three things, learning how to meditate. But there's a 3-week it's a three-week course that starts, this one starts November the 30th and runs to December 20th. So just in a couple more weeks. And so you'll be in it for 3 weeks. It starts on a Sunday. You have a class every day from Sunday to Friday, usually one hour. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, there's 1 hour classes. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they're 2-hour classes, because I'm channeling different multidimensional beings that want to articulate what they're there to articulate for you in that class. But go to my website, WilliamMichaelForbes.com. Register today. Get out there, register for the course. It will change how you feel inside. You'll awaken yourself. You become liberated from emotions that may have plagued you for decades. And just in our last 102, which was a couple of months ago, a few months back, we had students in that class that have been dealing with debilitating anxiety and depression for years. And after the first week of the course, they noticed a significant downturn in their anxiety. By the end of the course, it wasn't even there. It was just a faint memory. But they then had the tools on how to deal with their anxiety, how to actually release it from the body. Because once you know how you store emotion in the body, then it's just a simple matter, how do you release it? And you'll learn that in Masterclass 102, Liberation. Yeah, go do that. What if we cannot show up for the class? Okay, our classes, every single live class is recorded. It's recorded and put up on a private Facebook group wall where students can review all the lessons according to their schedules. So we've had students from Australia and Sweden. We've had students from France and South Africa, Canada, the United States, South Korea. We've had people from many countries. And it does not matter what your schedule is. You'll always be able to watch the replay of any live event that occurred. It'll be placed upon a private group wall where you can interact with other students, get feedback. We have a private chat group so you can interact with mediums and myself and others in real time as well. But it will, and the price is so ridiculously low for a 3-week course of this type that will change your life. As I said, we've had people who've had phenomenal healing experiences in the class. People that had terrible pain in their arms and couldn't get rid of it for years. And they released an old emotion that was stuck there, and all of a sudden the pain's gone. They got mobility and movement they hadn't had in years. Emotion organized. My guardian angel John told me about 4 years ago, he said, William, emotion is the 5th state of energy. And it coordinates and organizes all matter. And when you learn how to use emotion, you can coordinate the experiences of matter by the way you use emotion. And that blew my mind. It's a wonderful, wonderful understanding. Well, please, come and join us, Susie. Go to my website, sign up for it right now. You will not regret it. It will be one of the best things you've done. Which substance the guides recommend I take to eliminate the bacterial infection? Ivermectin, fenbendazole. Ivermectin, fenbendazole. Most diseases are parasitic based. Again, I'm just channeling that information. I'm not a medical doctor or a medical professional. I'm simply channeling information that I receive, quite simply. Hi there. Thank you so much. Yes. Why do I feel invisible orbs that vibrate all over me crawling everywhere? That's a great question, because you've got a high energy output, but what you need to do is you need to learn how to calm the field down. They're trying to give you information, okay? You're also experiencing thought being transmitted, because you can experience thought as a real force. You can experience thought as a real force. Again, sign up for Masterclass 102. You're going to have so much you'll learn from what's going on with you right now. But for right now, for this moment, take a deep breath and relax your body. Take a deep breath and relax your body. And as you do that, let yourself feel those orbs. Let yourself feel how they're interacting with you. And I want you to think. I want you to think and speak this thought as you feel all those. Only love enters this space. Only love leaves this space. And repeat those words slowly. Don't attack or try to push them away. Just create those words in your mind. Only love enters this space. Only love leaves this space. And then these words, thank you for being a part of my life. So do those things right now. Take a deep breath, relax the body. Keep breathing and keep relaxing the body. And then only love enters this space. Only love leaves this space. And repeat that a few times, and then thank you for being a part of my life. And then write in the comment section what you experienced by doing that. Please do that. Can you talk about the heartbeat of the earth is changing with the increase of love? It's not that the heartbeat is increasing, it's amplifying. Your body and the earth are microcosmic particles. They reflect each other. Your body has a field that vibrates the same way the earth's field does. And that frequency of Schumann resonance, whether it's induced by the sun or altered by the sun, because it is. The sun affects and influences the rhythm of energy on the earth. As the energy of our consciousness interacts with the earth and the earth interacts with the sun, we affect each other. So your consciousness, your ability to move into a state of love and grace will contribute to the amplification of love. So you get to participate in it. Everybody is. Doesn't matter who you are on the planet, rich or poor, weak-minded or strong-minded, fearful-based, love-based. Everyone is participating in this dance right now. Every one of you. And no matter who you are, I give you, in whatever fashion you can receive it, love and grace. Because whether you know it or not, wow, I really gave love and grace there, eh? Whether you know it or not, you are contributing to what's happening on this planet. Everyone is. There is not one soul on this planet that can escape participation in creation. Not one. Isn't that amazing? So to everyone, much love and gratitude, because you are in that process. Now I'm being told I have to depart. That's another message that was there too, that we've been on for a while. I do have an appointment today. So yeah, the more we increase it, the more it amplifies it. Do I still have a physical trauma in my body? If your body has some pain and dysfunction, yeah, there's a trauma to it. Either an emotional one or one that's been put in by chemical. But you can release any effect. I'm signing up. Again, can't wait. Wonderful. Good to see you. Wonderful. Yeah, sign up. You won't regret it. Do we need to search for hidden trauma stored in the body from past lives? That is not necessary. It is not necessary to go to past lives. You can. It takes a little bit more consciousness and awareness to do that. But it's not necessary, because if you've got a pain or you're suffering some way, if you've got an emotion, you've got it. It's from now. How you affect it now affects then. And if you go back and do encounter... Okay, guys, I promise. Sorry, guys, they're telling me to go. They're telling me I need to go today. So listen, no matter how you are feeling, you can change and release old emotions from your body. Anyone can do it. Sign up for Masterclass 1 and 2. You've got a few weeks left to do that. And I promise you, by the end of that class, you will know that you are the being that you are. You will not be stuck in suffering anymore if you do the simple exercises and practices that are in the class. It's really simple. It is not complex. They made it easier, so that they made it so easy that anybody can do it if they're willing to do what you're guided to do. But I do have to go now. That's never happened before. They're telling me I have to go. So I want to wish all of you much, much love. I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the Friday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. I'm going to just move you guys over to this side for a moment. And I will see everybody on Friday. Have yourself a wonderful and a joy-filled day. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.